Well, let's dig into that right now. Um, so, with the rise of Ozempic and other GLP-1 drugs, how are supplement companies, or how is the industry adapting its strategy to address this drug that works?
Sure. I think that some of us are adapting our strategy. We're kind of putting a toe in the water. And some of us, because this category has traditionally been so cyclic, like the trends, they come and they go. And if you just wait long enough, the trend will come back again. I think my message for people that have a toe in the water, or you're waiting for this to cycle past and for things to go back the way they used to be, they're not ever going back to the way they used to be. I think fundamentally, we don't have a weight loss category anymore. We have a weight management support category. And, we see some panic in the companies that have traditionally had big portfolios in this category because of the GLP 1s. But I think that it might be what the category always should have been, which is supportive of lifestyle and other interventions, but it's never going back to the way it was before. The category, as we've known it and defined it, is going to be fundamentally changed by the advent of the GLP 1s.
And so if the strategy is support, what does that mean? What does that look like?
So I think I would love to look at my very last slide. I do have a few slides that's just in case we have certain questions. And I think that their category can be, even while the category is changing significantly, I think it can be bigger and better than it's ever been before. So we have a natural amount of fasting that's going on, and there's opportunity for us to support that. And I really believe that if people are going to keep the weight off, that it will involve some sort of fasting regimen after they are finished with the drugs. We have nutritional augmentation, because the way that people go on and off these drugs creates tremendous nutritional gaps uh, in their diet. We have all of the very famous side effects that you've heard about that we can support and mitigate for them. We have one of the most serious concerns that medical professionals have about these diets, which is the loss of lean muscle mass. We have a significant impact. This type of radical dietary change has an impact on gut health, and some of the side effects related to the GLP 1s are changing the microbiome. And then we've got the maintenance mode. One of the reasons why insurance companies don't want to cover these products is because so many people regain the weight after they go off of the products. And so we have this maintenance mode. And in addition to that, because so many people walk into it's expensive and it's out of pocket. So people walk into their physician or medical spa and say, hey, how much weight can I lose for $1,000? And what they're really saying is, I can afford to be on this medication for 2 months. And the reality is, I don't know if you guys know this, but you start at really low doses and you don't even get to the clinical dose, because you're stepping up every month, until you've been on the medication for like 3 months. And so people can't afford to follow the course of treatment. So even people that are taking the GLP 1s are going to cycle on and off for expense purposes. And we can support that cycling on and off, whether they should or not. And then we have, and I'm disturbed by the amount of products that have come into the market that claim to be GLP-1 mimetics, right? They are the natural Ozempic. They are natural Manjaro. The the effects of these drugs are so powerful. We certainly can mimic some of the mechanisms of action, but you're never, from a natural perspective, going to completely mimic the effect of I don't want to say shooting up, but taking these injections. And so but we can support some of these mechanisms, and there might really be a place for that in the maintenance mode.
So there's a lot on here that we can do, and I can you say a little bit more about people who really do put like this is nature's Ozempic on their bottle? Is that like regular and from a regulatory perspective, like how dangerous is
Yeah,
doing
I'm
this?
going to give you my opinion on the state of the regulatory environment. And that is, we see the GLP-1 claims everywhere. And Eli Lilly and Novodisc have just had their hands full with all of the pharmacies, the compounding pharmacies, and with their supply chain and all of that. But it is inevitable that they're going to turn an eye to the fact that um, people are taking their intellectual property and the claims around that and usurping and infringing on their business. And so they'll petition the FDA. And I think it's a certainty that at some point we will see some regulatory oversight regarding claims that say GLP 1. So I'm not saying anybody's doing anything wrong right now, but if you're in love with this idea, then you should make hay while the sun shines and get your halo going, because I think the pullback language to this is going to become support for rapid weight loss or rapid language around rapid weight loss. But the term that being obviously you're not going to be able to say Ozempic or tirzepatide or semaglutide, as they like to say. And so, but I think we will inevitably get some regulatory feedback on that.
I don't think you're wrong. um,
How long can they put
I
up
know.
with that, you guys? Come on.
I'm interested though in this potential for, and we've talked about this around the office. Um, is there potential in this particular instance for maybe the pharma industry and the supplement industry to like be friends, maybe because maybe pharma knows that people are having side effects, that they need nutritional help from the supplement industry, and is there opportunity for us to have conversations that aren't so mean, maybe?
I don't know. I think that we don't live in a very friendly world in a lot of areas, and this is a place where the companies that are investing in this area are going to take a very dim view of this. That being said, we have giants, the world's largest supplement company like Nestle, that was astoundingly quick at coming out with the GLP-1 website. And they're taking products, and if I'm looking at product development, maybe I have this on the next slide. If I'm looking at product development, I think there's the class of ingredients that are being maybe next one, the class of ingredients that are being repurposed. They exist in the market, they've been repurposed for the purposes of supporting GLP-1. But then we have new ingredient examples. We have some new ingredients coming onto the market, may or may not have actually been studied in GLP-1 patients, but maybe there's mechanistic data available. Although there are a few ingredients coming out that actually have data in GLP-1 patients. And then where's the future of product development headed for this? I think there's going to be more development on this side as well. But you want to know what? Pharma is going to develop support ingredients. One of the rapid areas of intellectual property filing, if we just look at the patent literature, is around lean muscle mass. They are in an all fire hurry to solve that problem so that insurers and physicians can feel better about prescribing these supplements. So,
That's interesting too.
yeah.
Oh man, what a world, guys. Let's sort of, we're gonna stay in the weight loss. Oh man, there's 4 minutes left. And I want to talk a second about sort of thermogenics and fat burners. And we sort of had this chat before we started talking here, and you said that maybe that world is over because we have this pharmaceutical that works. Is it? Where do we sort of go from here, aside from just like maybe being like, here, take caffeine, that'll do it?
Yeah, I mentioned that this category has always been a little bit of a circus. It's been full of hyperbole. There's the raspberry ketones and all kinds of fun ingredients that trend and cycle through, and the data's been sparse and things like that. But I think that I don't want to say that would be crazy to say that thermogenesis is over with, but again, we are going to, as an industry, we're going to play more of a support role. And even the claims around some of our old ingredients that we just cannot give up on the language around them is going to be more supportive, more maintenance, more uh, uh, we're going to have a more supporting role, and that's okay. It can be just as big as our category has been in the past, if not bigger. Lots of opportunity for us, but just need to think differently about the category.
And then on that sort of note, is there anything, I don't even know if this is a question, I just am interested in what you have to say about some of these state regulations about protein and weight loss pills that are sort of maybe putting them, you have to show your ID, or you're putting them behind a wall in a store. Just interested on your perspective there.
Sure. The weight loss category has also been riddled with lawsuits and market withdrawals and adulteration and lots of bad press. And so the state and federal regulators it always has been one of the high risk areas for claims and to get regulatory oversight. This issue around lean muscle mass, you probably have heard rumors that, and if you guys reach out to me, I'll send you the rest of these slides, but the rumors around that people lose more lean muscle mass than fat on these diets. And while the lean muscle mass is an issue, the data doesn't really show it's more lean muscle mass than fat. That's just panic talking. It can be a significant amount. And so that's why there's a real need for that. And look, there's a lot of ingredients on the market for lean muscle mass. But what I'm looking for in an ingredient that supports lean muscle mass is a lean muscle mass outcome. Okay. There's all kinds of biomarkers and protein synthesis and exercise improvement data. Because we're repurposing sports nutrition ingredients. But what I'm looking for new products in this is ingredients that get a lean muscle mass endpoint. And anybody can increase lean muscle mass if you're exercising and taking a whole lot of protein. And so, again, we're looking for nuanced and better data in this category for sure.
And how, I guess for like people to take back, like what's if you're going to jump into this sort of like weight management category, do you recommend, like what's the thing that they need to keep in mind?
Wow.
I know.
If you're going to jump into the weight management category today, I would, if it were me, and it is me because I run a company that does this kind of stuff, but I would look at the mechanisms of action, and I have some slides on this. I think it's maybe slide 3, and also the side effects, and tease apart where the pain points are in the category. There you go. There's side effects. And so tease apart the pain points in the category where you can make a difference for the consumers that are paying a fortune out of their pocket to have this experience and then are having debilitating side effects. The other reason besides cost that people cycle on and off is legitimately the side effects. So this is an area where you can be smarter and better than the products that have just been repurposed and are generic, and be more specific about the pain points that people are experiencing in the category.
It's a wonderful way to end. Thank you so
Okay.
much, everyone, for coming.
Gonna
Thank
be
you, Jennifer.
a great, bright future. I'm very excited about it, even though it's not going to be what it used to be.
It's going to be a bumpy ride.
A little bit.
A little bumpy.
Buckle your seatbelts.
And then again, if you can give us some feedback, that would be great.